Welcome back to News Insight. In recent time, the mention of the name Independent Electoral Commission, abbreviated INEC, has looked as if they are synonymous with fraud and electoral practices.
Independence.
Yes.
Independent
National Electoral Commission.
When you mention it, what comes to our mind is that they are not independent. And that not being independent has also prevented them from doing what they should do. You know, we can get over this, try to... I think INEC recently on themselves have about 142 recommendations, which we discussed the other day. You can do 1,000 recommendations, you can switch, you can bring, what are they called, for diaspora to start voting. You can do all things. But until INEC is independent, we are going nowhere. They are supposed to be a very unbiased umpire. But until they're independent, they can't do that.
But they also not have a humane part where they think about the Nigerian that works, that we always talk about. And in them doing recommendation, they never sampled any opinion.
You see, sometimes we think these politicians are church members or
religious group.
No, that's why we have laws. That's why we have principles. Not everybody naturally want to do things right. And we can't leave our nation at the mercy of people trying to be nice or not. Our laws and institutions have to be strong.
So that's why you have punishment.
That's right.
And
Reward and punishment. We'll have to have it. Okay? Now, you see, people are saying a lot of media houses, a lot of civil society organizations are coming out, even political parties are coming out and saying, we can't go into 2027. Yes, this INEC can't go into 2027.
Okay, so
we need to make a progress.
Is it the INEC or the head at INEC or the echelon of authority at INEC?
See, all of them are part of INEC. Let me tell you what's eventually, sometimes when you are looking backward for solution, it's number one sign that you are not moving fast enough. All these stakeholders are not even recommending for a new law.
No.
They are recommending that we go back to Justice Mohammed Uwais' report, which he handed to Omar Musa Yar'Adua, our late president of blessed memory. Yes. Okay, so you see, in that report, let's just discuss a few things in that report. You remember, it appears a few has been touched. How the INEC is being funded in the first place. They recommended that INEC should be a first-line charge in the consolidated revenue fund. So it doesn't have to come at the discretion of the executive.
Yes.
No.
To give them what they think
what they think they should have. So executive will not be doing the favor to INEC by giving them what they need to do their work. Okay, another one, they move further. That appointments of people into the board of directors should not be done by the president, who himself could be standing for election.
Or has a party
or would even want somebody to succeed him or her. They recommended that NJC, Nigeria National what is it called? The Judicial Commission should be the one. Do you understand? So removing it from the executive to judiciary, who do not stand for election. That should be a step forward.
But that should be a step forward. But the judiciary too, they recommend a judge for appointment or for promotion or whatever it is. But it's still on the approval of the president.
Yes, that one, because it's approved by the president, there is a transition from one arm of the government to the other. So there is a control, no matter how you look at it. Unlike the one, the president will just appoint the INEC chairman by fiat. You understand? So if we could have an INEC chairman not being appointed by the
executive.
But I think the best one, though is expensive, is to elect the INEC chairman.
Yes.
Okay? Is to elect the INEC chairman. But let's still leave it on appointment, like the committee recommended. Yes. The committee also recommended that police should have their job spelled out clearly, their function in any election. You understand? It also went further. Though there are a lot of few things which is recommended that has now been implemented. Issues of like electoral cases having a time limit. I think that one
they are following
that one they are following that one religiously.
Yes.
They are following that one very religiously. But the one that they are not doing, which I love so much, is that nobody should assume, no elected person pronounced by INEC should assume office if all the cases against him in court has not been discharged.
But we have not followed that.
We have not followed. Do you know why I like that? People snatch it, grab it, and run into government. They will now use money they are getting from government to go to the judiciary and fight you.
Do you know of note is the fact that the first person that said go to court was the INEC chairman?
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, and that one was just peculiar to him. Why what he did was so painful was that people were coming to report to him when he was doing collation. When he was doing collation of that presidential
election, he told them that they were going to look into it. He said,
I will look into it. Bring all your reports, I will look into it. Instead of looking into it, he announced the report and asked them to go to court. A pronouncement of an INEC chairman is as good as a policy. They even released a media. We still have the copy.
Yes.
They released a kind of press release.
Yes.
We still have the copy. That results will be transmitted electronically.
That was the biggest fraud that could ever happen.
There's this man, Mr. Okoye, the one that was always speaking for them. As a matter of fact, people were calling him polling unit instead of polling unit.
Okay. Do you know what?
So he said,
let's tone it down a little bit. Let's tone it down. Going forward, what should we do?
If we can pick a few all these balanced recommendations from them, and see how we are fared in the one they did, and probably harmonize it with these diaspora voting they are trying to do, we are going to make progress. For as much as presidency begins to be the one in charge of the appointment of somebody who will conduct the same election where they will participate, is not going to be independent.
Okay, I should have thought that the INEC we have right now should have perfected their structure.
And there's also something, before I forget it, there was also something in that report that is very remarkable. That will create independence. It happens in US in a way. Rather than the National Assembly's tenure ending the same time with the presidency, their own will be 2 years after.
2-year term.
2 years after.
2 years after.
After, yes. So it's only the governor. It's only governorship election. At least it's staggered. Not all of them.
It's staggered.
Not all of them. It's staggered. There's midterm. Yes. So that it's only the governor and the presidential election that will be happening at the same day. They will happen at the same day. That of National Assembly will be 2 years after. Do you know why it's important?
Will be, this one, then
do you know why it's important? Before the new president is coming in, the National Assembly would
have... on ground.
They're on ground. He's not the one that influenced who is becoming the Senate president.
Yes.
The president of the nation wouldn't be the one that influenced who was the Senate president.
Or Speaker of the House.
The Speaker of the House and the Senate president would have... He came and met them. So that was it's also very, very good. So when all these people are calling for all these things, they are not asking for moon. We are not going to launch satellites to achieve all this. So, but the funny thing is that you find these 142 recommendations of INEC. I don't think any of these ones are there.
Why have they not made it public? All right, so I wanted to say something. I said I should have thought that the INEC we have right now, that the staggered election we have in the states,
the off-cycle, off-cycle elections,
and some of the election into the
by-elections
that we have. They should have used that one to perfect their act. If not,
let me tell you. You see, I've always said it. People like to attack the branches and leave the root. They are not independent. They just finished from your state. Edo State. And they just
I don't like talking about that.
So they are not independent. Until they are independent, there's not much they can do. Until they have to be independent. We have to hold the bull by the horn. We just have to do that.
What role does the citizens have to play in most of this thing? Because most of the time, we look as if we are powerless.
Yes, one of the roles we are playing is what you and I are doing.
But we are a very small fragment of the society.
But people are listening. A lot of people are listening.
So the people that are listening, what are they supposed to do?
They have to continue to amplify all this until we have a Nigeria that works for
so
everybody.
So they must send in their recommendation.
That's right. Send in their recommendation. Let us know what we should talk about the more. Let us know what they want us to talk about. Even pick what we are saying in their own little corner. Everybody's a leader in some form.
So they must not be docile.
There is no person in Nigeria that does not talk to one or two other persons.
Or that is not on Facebook.
That's not
on
Facebook.
Instagram.
That's right.
Or YouTube.
That's right. Because Nigeria that works for everybody is what we need. It's what we need. Even these people thinking, oh, they are manipulating the system. When Nigeria works for everybody, the president does not need to move with that level of security details. Go to Netherlands. So go to those places. You see a president riding bicycle.
Yeah.
A prime minister riding bicycle to work.
In rounding off, these CSOs are saying that things need to change.
Needs to change.
What's your opinion?
Yes. My opinion is all I have said. Let INEC be independent. If we do not do any other thing, when INEC is independent, that their conscience you are talking about, that their humanity you are talking about
will come out. Well, we've talked about NNPCL, we've talked about INEC, and we'll keep on talking about these structures that make government what government is to the people. At News Insight, this is just what we do, the country that works for everybody. Thank you once again. We'll be right back.